Thank you. And for years now, progressives in the media have disparaged law enforcement at every opportunity. From the defund the police movement to agenda-driven liberal district attorneys in cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and New York. There is a clear strategic effort on the part of Democrats to demean police officers nationwide at the expense of law and order. In 2021, according to the Fraternal Order of Police, 346 officers were shot, 63 fatally. Additionally, there were 103 ambush-style attacks on law enforcement, a 115% increase from 2020. Even as members of the Democratic Party are victims of increasing crimes, they are unwavering in their aggression on those in uniform who stand on the front lines and every day protect and serve our communities. Rather than acknowledging and thanking these brave men and women, Democrats have repeatedly gone out of their way to put the blame on those in uniform. They may claim otherwise, but here are the words straight from their mouth. And if we need to make sure that we are quoting people today, I am more than willing to do that. Police in our country are more concerned with protecting white supremacy than serving the communities that pay their salaries. Representative Bauman. Defunding the police isn't radical, it's real. Representative Cori Bush. The truth is that abolishing ICE isn't that radical. We reorganize government all the time, creating some agencies and eliminating others. Nevertheless, it is a bold proposal. It's time to be bold. It's time to abolish ICE. Representative Mark Pocan. The Defend the Police movement is one of reimagining the current police system to build an entity that does not violate us while relocating funds to invest in community services. Representative Ilhan Omar. Defunding the police means defunding the police. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We're spending too much money on police. There should be substantial cuts to police department to the police budget and a reallocation of those funds. Representative Jerry Nadler. And now they expect us to believe they support our law enforcement. They think that putting these bills forward will make the American people believe they care about law enforcement. It seems that it has taken them until now to see how out of touch they are with the American people.
Here's what went down. A GOP lawmaker finally stood up and said what millions of Americans have been thinking for years. Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, AOC, and the rest of the far-left squad have been smearing law enforcement while crime explodes in the communities they claim to represent. The speech called them out for disrespecting officers who risk their lives every single day, and it landed hard. This wasn't political theater. It was overdue truth being spoken on the House floor, and you could feel the frustration and urgency in every word. Before we get into this, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We need more voices pushing back against this radical anti-police narrative, and your support helps keep this message alive. Let's break it down. The clip starts with a Republican member of Congress laying out a simple fact. Law enforcement has become a punching bag for the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Not just criticism, not just policy disagreement, direct attacks on their legitimacy, their character, and in some cases, even celebrating efforts to strip them of resources and funding. And here's the thing. These are the same politicians who stand behind security every place they go. They have armed guards, barricades, police escorts, the works. But the neighborhoods they represent, not the same level of protection. When they push anti-police rhetoric, violence rises, businesses flee, families suffer. It's not theory. It's already happened. Minneapolis, St. Louis, New York, San Francisco. We've seen the results. The so-called champions of justice end up hurting the very people they claim to defend. What this really means is simple. Standing with law enforcement is standing with the rule of law. It's standing with families who want to walk down the street without fear. It's standing with store owners who don't deserve to get robbed while politicians tweet slogans from gated communities. The lawmaker laid it out clearly. Disrespecting police doesn't build safer communities. It builds chaos. It emboldens criminals. It sends a message that authority is up for debate. And when that happens, ordinary Americans pay the price. Meanwhile, the squad gets applause on Twitter and magazine covers for being bold. But bold isn't the point. Responsible leadership is. You don't tear down the people who defend society unless you're trying to destabilize it. And let's be honest, the squad's anti-police crusade has never been about reform. Americans support reform. Americans support accountability. Everyone wants fairness and justice. But the far-left movement was never about fixing policing. It was about dismantling it. Their words make that clear. Their policies prove it. So yes, it was refreshing to finally see pushback. Someone standing on the floor of Congress and reminding these activists in suits that law enforcement isn't the enemy. Criminals are. Stick around because this conversation is not going away. If anything, it's heating up. And we need to be loud. We need to defend the men and women who put on the badge and run toward danger while others hide behind cameras and hashtags. If you're tired of watching America bend to radicals who won't even protect their own districts, smash that like button. Share this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Patriots don't stay silent when the stakes are this high. Let's keep fighting for truth, law, and order in this country.
Violence can sometimes be justified. That's far too many, is it not? It is.
One is far too many.
One is far too many. That's right. Only 3% of very conservatives said the same thing, and we can agree that 3% is far too many. But there's an astounding difference between 25% on the left accepting and tolerating political violence and 3% on the right. I would hope that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle would also recognize that there is a systemic problem on their side of the aisle with tolerance for violence against people with whom they politically disagree, that there is a cultural rot on their side of the aisle that needs to be addressed desperately. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
One of the more astounding aspects of this is that it's not just people. This comes from the very top, from their political leaders. Just a few days ago, a member of Congress of this body, Ilhan Omar, shared a video on her social media account about Charlie Kirk's murder, and I'll quote what it said. It said, "Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck." In other words, Charlie had it coming to him. The words that he said naturally led to his assassination. I mean, that is a reprehensible thing for a member of Congress to say, to suggest, to promote in any capacity. And there are people across this country who are losing their jobs for
on the conflict of interests that run rampant through your top aides, especially those advising you on higher ed and loan servicing. When responding to questions about these conflicts, you have failed to adequately convince Congress and the American people that these conflicts do not interfere with the billions of taxpayer dollars flowing from education to corporate interests. Today, I would like to better understand your decisions for selecting aides and ensuring that their conflicts do not harm taxpayers. Last May, 4 of my colleagues on this committee sent your general counsel a request for information about conflict of interest surrounding your $2 billion next-gen loan servicing solicitation. Given that this solicitation is given, I would like some information about the team that's leading it. Does Dr. A. Wade Johnson, is he the one that's spearheading this solicitation?
Dr. Johnson is head of the Next Gen Initiative.
All right. According to New York Times investigation, Dr. Johnson was the founder and chief executive of a private student loan company, Reunion Student Loan Financing Corporation, before assuming his official role with the department. Is that correct?
That probably is correct.
Yes, it is.
Let me just interject. And
I would like to continue.
And I would like to make clear that
we'll give you some time. I will get to it. Thank you so much. Dr. Johnson was also the executive at the two financial services companies, First Data Corporation and TSYS. Additionally, Dr. Johnson was hired at least one other TSYS veteran, Mr. Patrick Fox. Have any of Dr. Johnson's previous employers bid on elements of next-gen solicitation?
Congresswoman, all of my staff, all of my team at